Technology nowadays has enabled us to sustain life longer than before. With medicines and devices, one particular facility, known as an ICU, takes care of critically ill patients, including those in comas. ICU stands for Intensive Care Unit, which are tools that can help a patient breathe and function his organs though the brain may be unresponsive. Doctors and nurses earn their degrees to be experts on how to care for an ICU patient. Controversies begin to arise when it comes to making critical decisions with patients who are proclaimed brain dead by a professional doctor. When can someone decide that the patient has come to an end? With the best care provided, it does not come cheap, however. On average, the cost for an ICU patient can range from $500 to $10,000 per day, according to sources. So how long can a family patiently wait for a loved one to wake up? Remember, every day, while chances diminish, the cost increases. According to some religions, they believe that death should be natural. It is against their beliefs to have someone remove the plug. For instance, a drama show called Grey's Anatomy, a man is angered at a doctor who insisted that his wife was brain dead and ordered a resident to remove the machine. This doctor is one of the best neurosurgeons in the television, which gives him the professional credibility. However, he did not grant the man enough time to think about what he wanted to do. Enraged, the man wanted to find justice by returning to the hospital and began a shootout until he found the doctor who played the role of God by making that decision for him, before eventually shooting himself.
What kind of hospital is this? Is it safe here? Somebody has to protect people from you. Handing down judgments like you're God. You don't get to be God. No talking.
Mr. Clark, listen to me. I know you're lost. I lost my father when I was a kid. Two guys killed my father first watch, right in front of me. Right in front of me. I didn't become a doctor because I wanted to be God. I became a doctor because I wanted to save lives. Look at me. Please. Look at me in the eye. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I'm flawed. We all are. Today, I think for you, it's just a mistake. I want justice. I want somebody to pay. You're a good man. I can see that in your eyes. Can you see it, Mike? Can you?
Dr. Shepard, thank God you're back.
Tragedies and accidents happen every day, with injuries being minor or fatal to the point where critical assistance is needed. Unfortunately, what if this happened to someone you knew, a family member or a friend? Who's authorized to pull the plug? Someone with a degree or a family member? In this clip, you'll hear opinions from local citizens in your community.
A family member should be the one to decide whether or not they should pull the plug, because it is their family and family does know best. Even if a professional doctor does know a little bit more medical-wise, a family knows more emotionally. and they're the ones that are more emotionally attached. So, family.
I feel like a family member should pull the plug instead of a professionally trained doctor, because the patient is a stranger to them and they've never associated themselves with that patient, so it's kind of not fair and right.
I'll discuss it with my family first, because even though the doctor is professionally trained, I feel like it is our family member and we should be the ones to decide whether or not we should do it or someone else, some stranger, should do it.
I'm going to be coming from the medical perspective point of view. As a medical professional, it is our role to provide our patients with all information possible, the pros and cons of the situations. Now, let's say if we had a patient under our care who was under life support, it is ultimately the decision of the family whether or not to remove it. Now, if the patient themselves have what we call an advance directive, that is basically a will or instructions on whether or what kind of care they would like to be provided to them if they cannot make the decisions anymore. If the patient themselves decided not to be on life support anymore, then that's when the medical professional, the doctor in this case, steps in and they have the right to remove the life support. But if they do not have an advance directive in place, the decision ultimately transfers over to the family members, which may be the next of kin, usually the spouse, or if there's no spouse, then it ultimately gets transferred over to the children. So in the end, the only person or the only people who can decide whether or not the life support should be removed is the family member. Because basically medical professionals are there to cater to the needs of the patients, and the family members are also under our patient care.
When considering whether or not a doctor or loved one should take someone off of life support, one must remember that doctors are highly trained and educated for situations like this. With that being said, such medical attention is very costly and expensive, which can cause the family affected very, very difficult financial hardship. Thus, considerations like this should be taken to heart before making the final decision.